The 1976 Ferrari 308 GT Rainbow is one of the most unusual designs in the brand's history, combining the visionary approach of the Bertone studio with the ambition to create a completely new design language for Ferrari. The car was created during the rivalry between Bertone and Pininfarina, two giants of Italian design whose rivalry often shaped entire eras of the automotive industry. The Rainbow was intended as a showcase for creativity and an attempt to persuade Ferrari to embrace more daring forms. It was also a project that stemmed from the extensive work of Marcello Gandini, one of the most important stylists of the 20th century. Born in 1938, Gandini was famous for his designs of the Lamborghini Miura, Countach, and Diablo, as well as the Lancia Stratos and a number of Maserati models. His only production Ferrari remains the Dino 308 GT4, which he designed in 1973. It was on this basis that Bertone built the Rainbow concept, concluding the collaboration with Maranello. The Dino 308 GT4, though unassuming, was a groundbreaking design. Light, compact, functional, and yet bold compared to the conservative Ferrari models. Measuring 4.53 meters long and weighing 1,150 kilograms, it was the ideal platform for futuristic experimentation. Gandini and Bertone refined the Dino technically and aesthetically, creating a foundation upon which a more radical prototype could be built. The Ferrari 308 GT Rainbow, unveiled in Turin in 1976, was just such an experiment. The car was intended to be a modern reinterpretation of an existing design, and its name, Rainbow, was meant to symbolize the boldness of form and freedom of design. Today, it's mostly mentioned in reviews of forgotten prototypes, but at the time of its launch, it was one of the most talked about cars at the show. The Rainbow's styling was distinguished by sharp lines and a wedge-shaped form, typical of the 1970s. Its angular silhouette was somewhat reminiscent of the Fiat X19, also a Gandini creation. The car was shortened compared to the Dino, and the wheelbase was reduced from 255 to 245 centimeters to emphasize its agility. The design was deliberately futuristic, more architectural than organic, full of sharp edges and geometric transitions. One of the Rainbow's most distinctive features was the Targa-style hardtop, which retracted manually behind the seats. This design was decades ahead of the modern retractable roof concept, which Ferrari would not implement until the 458 Spider. Combined with the vertical window line and unusual A-pillar geometry, the Rainbow offered the look of a futuristic coupe with the functionality of a roadster. The car's conceptual character was also evident inside. The cabin was designed with a modern touch, low seats, an angular dashboard, a wide console, and futuristic dials created the atmosphere of a speed laboratory. Bertone wanted the driver to feel like they were in a prototype of the future, and the entire interior was intended to be a manifesto of what the cockpit of a new-age Ferrari sports car could look like. Technically, the Rainbow was based on the proven Dino layout. Behind the seats sat a transversely mounted, naturally aspirated V8 engine, displacing over 2.9 liters, fed by 4 Weber carburetors. The unit produced approximately 250 horsepower and was paired with a 5-speed manual gearbox. This setup allowed for speeds of around 250 kilometers per hour, completely realistic figures, making the Rainbow not just a mock-up, but a functioning prototype. Interestingly, although the Rainbow featured full Ferrari mechanics, its intended purpose was strictly for display. Bertone wanted to make its mark and showcase Ferrari's alternative to Pininfarina's styling. The prototype was intended primarily to attract attention and spark discussion, rather than to prepare the ground for a production model. It was in this role that it excelled, becoming one of the highlights of the Turin showroom. After its exhibition run, the car embarked on a brief tour of car showrooms, winning praise from design critics, but also sparking controversy. Some viewers considered the Rainbow too futuristic for a Ferrari. Others saw it as a fascinating example of creative audacity. Ultimately, however, the design never made it into production and, like many concepts of the era, ended up in the archives. After completing its promotional mission, the Ferrari 308 GT Rainbow was returned to the Bertone Museum, where it became a testament to the creative energy of the 1970s. Today, it is considered one of the most interesting and radical prototypes associated with the Ferrari brand. It combines Gandini's craftsmanship, Dino's technique, and Bertone's courage, creating a unique story of a time when design boundaries were pushed without compromise.